Hi everyone, I hope you're staying strong and have a wonderful day. I'm utilizing my role today as holistic healer. It's in my blood, guys. I was doing some reading in history and I'll have to make a follow-up vid. Too funny, some of these old historical tales and ancient lore, but I guess my name is derived from an ancient healer by the same name, so it's too funny because I love herbs, and I know the Most High gave knowledge of the herbs to his people, and the herbs got passed down from Noah, believe it or not. Noah was given the knowledge of herbs and healing, holistic healing. So I am so grateful to see some background stories. And when I can, when I'm not playing so much nurse this week, I've wanted to do so many vids. It's just been impossible. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of holistic tips, because we always got to do that, especially everyone around me is getting so ill and they're falling apart. Me, I usually get like just teeth issues or headaches. I'm not immune to all of the attacks on us. I tell people the air is not even fit to breathe. Are we so surprised? We shouldn't be. But if you didn't know, health benefits of bay. If you can just buy bay, I am stocking up, making tea. I do it for a prophylactic, because I'm going to show you here, because people are just so weirded out. They're like, I caught this, I caught that. Like, again, with the damn germ theory, that's been debunked so many times. But, hey, what are you going to do? Let me try to remind people again, because it is only if your immune system is compromised. How do doctors and nurses deal with sick people every day and they don't get all jammed up, right? So the word virus comes from the Latin for a poisonous liquid, and before that from the Sanskrit for the same. Most people believe that every disease on the following list has an infectious cause. You got your HIV, your SARS, your West Nile, mad cow. Remember that? Where's all these things go, right? It's always a different name. In other spongiform encephalopathies, foot and mouth, hepatitis C, polio, avian flu, and the 1918 Spanish flu. There is considerable scientific evidence that this disease did not have non-infectious cofactors, but they all almost entirely non-infectious. Yeah, can show you a little bit about how people use a lot of poisons in their homes for pests, and that right there too can cause a lot of illnesses. If you see the poisoning hotline websites, which I'm going to show you one because a dog ate a little bit of rat poison, and you'll see the symptoms the same as what I've been telling people. They look like viral symptoms, okay, because that's your body fighting off toxins, okay. So viruses and bacteria are not the sole cause of infectious disease. I've been telling people, like, I caught this, I'm like, whatever. If that's how you want to act, if you feel sick, stay away from me. It gives me more of a reason to be more of an introvert, because people are just, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, There is something else. This has been quoted by Rene Dubois, professor of microbiology. Could the increase in all forms of meningitis and other infectious disease complications and deaths be because for the last 40 plus years, the first things parents do at the slightest sign of temperature is push paracetamol? Yeah, because always pushing Tylenol, not realizing that will destroy your body. A fever is actually a natural indicator that your body's actually doing a good job fighting off the pathogen, because it's heating itself up. Hello, heat actually takes care of it. I believe so, and that's from Hilary Butler. The whole area of effects caused by toxic chemicals is murky because the medical cartel does not want to implicate certain corporations in crimes of magnitude, and because the medical boys are always on the prowl for germs, and because many toxic chemicals turn out to be medicines. Oh, I can show you an example of that real quick, because the active ingredient, because people are buying this stuff. I had an issue with mice, in the cities you're going to have that, and I'm very clean. I've been obsessively cleaning for the few days. I've been setting out like the old school traps, like the wooden ones. I was almost, because someone did a vid, and I'm like, oh, this is the best thing, right? And I was like, oh, in theory, at first, you're like, okay. And then you think about it, you're like, that's a horrible way to go. I wouldn't want to poison a little guy. If you had a choice on a way you could go out, wouldn't you want to be fast and painless or whatever? At least quick, right? So that's why we got the old school traps, guys. And we're just using that. But I seen the effects of this. And this came up. I was just looking around a little bit, and this was really interesting because it gives you the symptoms. It's a hotline because I guess this dog ate some rat poison. People don't realize, how do you think this is going to affect humans? And it goes into the water supply, and they say if you poison your pests like mice and the predatory animals like cats in your neighborhood or whoever eat those diseased dead, at least if you kill it with the trap and you put it out, somebody a predatory animal can eat it and not be poisoned to death, but it shows that can happen. And you see all the mechanisms, long-acting anticoagulants, and you see how it works on the body, and you can see how a lot of the signs that people are having today, man, it's like the same. It says below are the 4 most common active ingredients in mouse and rat poisons, along with their medication of action. Signs of poison in toxic doses and treatment options. If a dog or cat ingests one of these poisons, call your veterinarian and pet poison helpline. See? So this is the most common. And the mechanism of action, this type of poison prevents the blood from clotting, resulting in internal bleeding. Long-acting anticoagulants work similarly to the blood thinner medications that people take. All right, you see that word warfarin? It has the word war in it. Okay, chemical warfare. When people say biological warfare, do we really sound so kooky? And Coumadin, they pushing that hard too. So kind of funny. In one field it's medicine, in another field it's poison. Ooh, And yeah, in higher amounts, it doesn't matter. People are like, oh, it's only toxic to this and not that. Toxic is toxic to all. Because I could do another vid. I found a list of the most toxic, hazardous, even by their standards, that they have a list of toxic chemicals. And, some of them will be familiar and people think that they're innocuous. Some of them are everyday names, okay, that you heard. And then you got people, it only takes a few days, and look at the signs of poison and lethargy, exercise intolerance, okay, like a lot of these Rona incidents, coughing, difficulty breathing, okay, due to bleeding, guys, into the lungs. Can you believe that? I know people with nosebleeds who've been found dead, bleeding out of their ears. Crazy. And then some people, they were bleeding, and then they go to the doctors and they get misdiagnosed with cancer and get put on, more chemical warfare, let's just say. So look, pale gums, weakness. Less common signs include vomiting, diarrhea, with or without blood, nosebleeds, bruising, bloody urine, swollen joints, inappetence, and bleeding from the gums. Guys, see how most of it is poisoning? Antidote, they say, K1. And so, very crazy. Some types, it gives you like some of the names. So I was reading more, and there's another one. This is one of the most dangerous mouse and rat poisons on the market and seems to be gaining in popularity. So look out for this word, cholecalciferol. And people will read that quick and not think. They'll be like, oh, it's calcium. Yeah, watch what it does to your body. Mechanism of action. This poison causes a very high calcium and phosphorus level in the body, resulting in severe acute kidney failure. Common signs of poisoning: increased thirst and urination, weakness, lethargy, a decreased appetite, and halitosis, uremic breath or bad breath. Acute kidney failure develops 2 to 3 days after ingestion. Often by this point, significant and permanent damage has already occurred to the body. A lot of people with this issue. This is another one that's up. Brome, meth, anything with meth we already know to stay away from. Allen. This type of mouse and rat poison causes swelling of the brain. A lot of people with this issue. They can be putting it in other products as well, right? So, because the ingredient looks similar to many of the LAAC poisons, it can easily be mistaken, I guess, for the one above. Mechanism of action. Bromethylene works by uncoupling oxidative phosphorylation in the brain and liver mitochondria and can result in brain swelling, cerebral edema, common signs of poisoning, incoordination, ataxia, tremors, seizures, paralysis, and eventually death. The more an animal eats, the more severe the clinical signs may be. Signs can develop within 2 hours, but may be delayed as long as 36 hours. So it makes you think fasting is really good too. And I've been telling people, I'm like, oh, when you're not feeling good, that's why your body doesn't want to eat anything, because it takes a lot of energy to do the digestion. They weren't understanding what I was talking about, but a lot of times, eating during these times when your body's trying to pass all these toxins, it can make it worse. And zinc, they're using in aluminum phosphides. Sorry. Scratchy throat alert. These poisons are more commonly found in mole or gopher baits, but they also may appear in mouse and rat traps or baits. This poison is a particular concern, as inhalation of the fumes from a dog's vomit may cause lung irritation to both the dog and the pet owner. You see how it starts to traverse to the human population. I tell people all the time, I see some people are hideous. They'll use like those weird plugins that you put in the wall, and it uses some type of electromagnetic frequency. I'm like telling the person, aren't you worried what that's going to do to you and like your daughter? And they're like, like nothing, like it's not going to affect them. It's like, oh no, it just affects the mice. I'm like, all right, whatever. So this one right here, unbelievable. Once in the stomach, this poison releases phosphine gas. Food in the stomach will increase the amount of gas produced and therefore increase the toxicity of the poison. See? Therefore, feeding your dog after ingestion of the poison is never recommended. The phosphine gas produced by this poison can result in stomach bleeding, vomiting, abdominal pain, shock, collapse, seizures, and liver damage. That's why I tell people you need to have like high doses of vitamin C, whatever you can have, and you see the active ingredient, because this is known as like super warfarin, which I found fascinating. This is a brand called Just One Bite. I don't advocate it at all. Just use the dollar store wooden traps. They sell like 4 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. Not bad. Or $1.25, whatever. It's still a good deal. And look, it says Norway rats and house mice. It's a resistant, I like that. I guess the Norway rats, they're pretty hardy guys. They're resistant to the warfarin. We always knew the people of the north are a hardy stock, right? But it contains the active ingredient bromadiolin, a second generation, which I hear is more lethal. Did I just see a mouse like walk on my? It's just so funny. I swear, I'm seeing him going on the damn building. It's getting crazy out here. These buildings are falling apart. That's why I'm like looking for a house elsewhere. I'm just gonna start looking, because these people don't know how to plug in holes out in the concrete. If you have your own house, you have to make sure that there is no holes in the foundation. And I got nothing but a slumlord over here, so working on my way out. That's what you want to do if you can, because you can only do it so much. If I had my own spot, I'd be making sure I plug in every hole. I'd be looking at, I'm doing that with my own apartment, but that doesn't take care of the whole building, right? But I'm not going to give these poor guys poison, because that's horrible. And you see warfarin, which is sold also as a medication, as an anticoagulant. So I hear people too, they're like, oh, I got sticky blood, I got this, not realizing a lot of what's going on is because of the chemical warfare. And you could just drink water. If you drink enough water, that'll thin your blood out. And they prescribe this. So it's funny how in one field it'll be poison, in another field, right, And I mean, people have already showed how um, toxic chemicals are definitely what people need to look at, because I have a whole list here of all of the so-called Legionnaire's disease, this and all that, and it was all it was all chemical issues that brought these issues about. But anyway, I want to give you guys we'll delve into more of that. I just wanted to really show that you got to be careful with these poisons. You may not want to buy them. You may want to do it humanely, because if you go too hard on them with the chemical warfare, right, it's going to come back to haunt you, and it'll hurt your whole family, and it's going into the water supply. It's just it's not good. If you can just do it the old school way. And I watched a little bit of Mr. Dr. Berg earlier, and he reminded me how amazing Bay is, and that it's an antiviral and an antibacterial, and that it's been transported from the East to the United States. It's just amazing. I'm surprised they don't grow here, but it's also called Laurus nobilis. See, it's a noble herb. The Most High's medicine is very noble, actually. And this is an actual science. I love how, there's all the scientific journals and data on all of these herbs. And then when you talk about it, they try to act like you're some hillbilly or something, like you don't know what you're saying, when it's been studied. So it's been cultivated throughout Europe, tropical and subtropical, and Asian countries. It's been used for thousands of years for food flavoring, essential oil applications, and in traditional medicine. Mostly it contains tannins, flavonoids, alkaloids, eugenol, linalool, all these wonderful, healthy constituents that we need. And it's really high in vitamin A, which a lack of vitamin A and C will increase infection. And bay leaf has many biologic activities, such as wound healing activity, antioxidant activity, antibacterial activity, antiviral bacteria activity. There you go. And immunostimulant activity, anticholinergic activity, antifungal activity. Look at that. Insect repellent even. See how the Most High, it's like over and over. Anticonvulsant. They're trying to have us convulse in all their medications. See, this is what they call healing, Got to be careful when you go to the satanic church that you call a hospital for healing, because they're pulling a switcheroo on your ass. Alright. You're going to go to the devil for help? It's crazy. Because this right here, they're saying that they use warfarin. So we're the rats in the cage, right? Despite all our rage, we're the rats in the cage. But this is a really great source, because it shows more and more. I love showing scientific research to back up what the Bible and the book of Jubilees and all them already told us. And what our spirit already told us. What our God already told us, okay? And our spirit. Because I've been taking care of myself with herbs, and I've become almost like my community herbalist. And taking care of my husband now. He's, down for the count this week or whatever. He likes the sweets. He was eating too much junk, whatever. Doing a little this and that. I was telling him, hey, it's going to catch up to you. You don't sleep enough. And so now, giving him a lot of herbs. I'm going to make some bay leaf tea. Gave him some echinacea yesterday. Just keep, ginger, garlic, all that stuff. But bay leaf is can always make more. I made a clove, clove is really, really strong, guys. You make that, it's going to be potent. But, I mixed a little bit of that with oregano tea. You know how much oregano oil goes for, and it's super potent. So anti-inflammatory. It's part of the Lowell family. Look how beautiful it is, too. Everybody just thinks it's for cooking, but there's more to it than that. And so you got right here, I'll say the genus Laurus has a range of 24,000. I'm not sure if they're missing a zero. Species, and their varieties are native to the southern Mediterranean region. the subtropics and tropics of Eastern Asia, South, and North America. So also North America. So why do they have to transport if we have it here? The Balkans are Asia Minor. The great variability among species is largely attributed to the uncertainty in the exact number of species. So they're also, right here, common name bay laurel, including bay rum tree, or simply bay, Pimenta racemosa. It's known by different names in Urdu. It is known as tia pat. In English, it is typically called bay leaf or sweet bay. In Arabic, it is known as warak, God. In German, it is known as lorbeard. In Greek, it is called Daphne. Isn't that cool? That's probably where the name comes from. In India, especially in Hindi, it is called Tejpata. And Meghala bay leaf unit produces ranges from 30 to 70 kilograms per tree. It says Aegean and Eastern Mediterranean regions are the biggest collection areas of the bay leaf for export. Turkey exported 4,869 tons of bay leaf to the United States in 2002. So it says the origin of bay leaf is most probably South Asia, from where it is spread to Asia Minor and all over the world. Bay leaf, beautiful. So it tells you a little bit about it and how it's grown in the following countries: India, Pakistan, other Southeast Asian countries, Pacific Islands, Australia, around the coast of the Mediterranean, and southern Europe, Greece, Portugal, France, Turkey, Spain, see that? Algeria, Morocco, Belgium, Central America, Mexico, southern United States, and the Canary Islands. So I thought it was cool, and I was looking down on the nutritional content. Very high in vitamin A, vitamin C. Look, 3,000 international units of vitamin A. 14 to 15 milligrams of vitamin C, and small amounts of potassium. Bay seeds are rich in dietary fibers, and bay leaf compounds like eugenol, methyl eugenol, and L-amycin are significant for the spicy aroma of bay leaves, and for determining effective quality of bay leaf, they are used as significant influencers. So great. You can really, really get into it, guys. I'm excited. I love this reference. And it'll tell you how great source of minerals, fibers, you name it. So get off all of these horrible poisons, of course. Now everybody's so scared, thinking they can catch everything, and they're so scared to be around each other. But I'll read a little bit more. Just know that viruses and bacteria are not the sole cause of infectious disease. There is something else. You bet your ass. A lot of the chemical warfare in the medical system and what we do to ourselves. And if we act a little bit more humane when we're taking care of our pests, maybe, we'll get the same treatment back to us. But try bay leaf, guys. It's amazing. And I'll leave this for you. So have a wonderful day. I got to get back to it. So busy. And I thank you for your time.